Are you a snowbird? Or you plan a long stay in the US? Now there is a new rule for all of us. You need to understand it to avoid a ban on future entry into the US. So let's dive into how the new US registration requirement, signed by President Trump in January 2025, might affect Canadian snowbirds, those folks who flock to Florida and other warm states to escape the brutal Canadian winters. These snowbirds, often retirees, typically spend months at a time in places like Florida, Arizona, or Texas, soaking up the sun and boosting local economies. So, what does this policy mean for us specifically? Welcome to Visa Center Channel, your trusted resource for navigating the world of international travel and immigration. We are a Canadian company based in Toronto, dedicated to assisting Canadians and residents in securing visas, passports, and essential documents for destinations worldwide. I'm Alex Selivanov, the founder and owner of Visa Center, bringing over 40 years of expertise in visas, immigration, and cross-border solutions. With decades of experience, we've empowered countless individuals to travel confidently and comply with global regulations, like the U.S. alien registration we're diving into today. We have prepared a short brief on the subject for you in the form of a video. I hope you like it and find it useful. Subscribe now and let's get you informed, prepared, and on your way.
The executive order under the name of Protecting the American People Against Invasion, signed on January 20th, 2025, dusted off Section 262 of the Immigration and Nationality Act, mandating that non-citizens aged 14 and older who stay in the U.S. for 30 days or more and weren't registered or fingerprinted upon entry must register with the federal government. For snowbirds, this is a big shift. Historically, Canadians crossing the border, especially at land points, faced minimal formalities, often just a verbal check. Now, if they're wintering in Florida for their usual 3 to 6 month stint, they're caught in this net unless they've already been issued something like an I-94 form, which is common for air travelers, but not always for those driving in. Most Canadian snowbirds head south between October and April, with Florida being the top destination. Think 500,000 or more annually, many owning condos or renting in places like Fort Myers, Miami, or the Gulf Coast. The policy zeroes in on those not already registered through existing entry processes. If you're a snowbird driving across from Ontario to Florida without an I-94, which many Canadians don't get at land borders, or if you're part of the visa waiver program but overstay the typical tracking, you'll need to register. Those arriving by air with an ESTA or visa are likely already covered, but the land border crowd, huge among snowbirds, might not be. Kids under 14 traveling with parents need registration too, handled by guardians, which adds a layer for snowbird families bringing grandkids along. Exceptions exist. Lawful permanent residents, also known as green card holders, and those in deportation proceedings dodge this. But that's not most snowbirds. The gray area is overstayed. Many snowbirds push the 6-month limit, which is 182 days, to avoid U.S. tax residency under the substantial presence test. If they've expired their I-94 or ESTA period, they're still on the hook to register. As of February 24th to 25th, 2025, DHS and USCIS rolled out initial guidance: create a USCIS online account and wait for a forthcoming registration form. You may find the link in the description. By March 7th, 2025, the system's not fully live yet. No form, no mass enforcement. But the clock's ticking. Snowbirds already in Florida this season might need to scramble mid-stay, assuming the process launches soon. Imagine being in Tampa, golfing in February, and suddenly you're logging into a glitchy government portal to avoid a misdemeanor charge. For next season's snowbirds, starting October 2025 onward, it's clearer register within 30 days of arrival or face penalties. Penalties: the INA lays out up to 6 months in jail and/or a $1,000 fine for willful non-compliance. DHS is framing this as a priority, so snowbirds ignoring it could risk legal headaches, or worse, entry bans on future trips. Picture a retiree from Toronto, condo in Naples, getting flagged at the border next year because they skipped this step. Florida's snowbird economy. Canadians pump billions into Florida, $6.5 billion annually by some estimates, supporting 1.6 million jobs. A 2023 snowbirdadvisor.ca report pegs 85% of Canadian snowbirds hitting the U.S., half owning property here. If this registration feels like a hassle, or a show-me-your-papers overreach, some might skip Florida. Posts on X hint at sentiment. One user claimed snowbirds might boycott with Florida filling gaps with domestic travelers, though that's speculative. The Canadian Snowbird Association hasn't signaled mass cancellations yet, but the vibe's uneasy, especially after Trump's tariff threats in February 2025 spooked some into canceling, per CBC News, February 23rd. Practical hassles. Snowbirds aren't digital natives. Setting up USCIS accounts and navigating a new form could frustrate retirees who just want to sip margaritas in St. Pete. Those driving down, 70% of snowbirds per Snowbird Advisor, face extra scrutiny compared to pre-2025 ease. Add weak loonie, CAD versus USD, and rising insurance costs, up 31.7% in Florida counties like Broward in 2022, and the snowbird lifestyle's getting pricier and trickier. Border dynamics. Most snowbirds enter via land from Ontario or Quebec. Pre-2025 Canada-US border closures, such as in 2020 to 2021, hit hard, but this is different. Open borders with a catch. Registration doesn't grant status or work rights, just tracks you. For snowbirds pushing 240-day stays, if the Canadian Snowbirds Act ever passes, this could complicate tax and residency calculations further. Snowbirds aren't invaders. They're retirees with RVs or beachfront rentals, not border hoppers. Yet Trump's framing casts a wide net, and they're collateral. Florida's snowbird season peaks now. March is prime time. So this mid-season curveball could disrupt plans. By March 5th, 2025, the form's not out, so snowbirds this season might skate by, or not, if enforcement ramps up fast. Next winter, it's unavoidable. They'll need to way register and stay or ditch Florida for the Dominican Republic, as one ex-user suggested. The Canadian Snowbird Association's likely prepping advice. Check snowbirds.org for updates. For now, it's a waiting game with a side of bureaucracy. Hardly the laid-back winter they signed up for.
Thanks for watching. I hope this video brought you valuable insights to navigate your visa and immigration needs. If you found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It really supports the channel. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay updated on the latest developments and expert tips from Visa Center. I'm Alex Selivanov, and I'll see you in the next one. Travel smart, travel prepared.